大家好，我是施建国，我在山东青岛. I'm in Shandong province in the city of Qingdao, a city famous for its beer. Today I'm walking along a road known as Dengzhou, affectionately referred to as Pijiujie because there's so many restaurants selling beer and seafood. And at the end of this road there is a location that almost all tourists to Qingdao come to see. The famous Qingdao Beer Museum. This is the first and only beer-themed museum in the whole of China. So Qingdao, famous throughout China for its beer. It exports beer all over the world. In my country, UK, if you go to a Chinese restaurant and you order a beer, it'll be a Qingdao. The beer museum, is actually on the site of the old Tsingtao Brewery factory. And if you look at the buildings, look at this building over here, it looks quite European. That is because Qingdao was occupied by Germany from 1897, 1898 through to 1914. And the influence of that period of history can still be seen in the architecture of the city and also in the city's beer culture. Of course though, the beer culture now is uniquely Chinese. This place, as you can see, is packed. It's one of probably the most famous example of gongyeluo or industrial tourism in the whole of China. So I'm going to go in the museum. I'm not here just for free samples, but if I do get some free samples, I'll be quite happy. Right, I've got to go that way first. Right, Eguan, over there. So you can see how popular this place is, so many people. One of the most fascinating things is that you can basically track Qingdao's history through the print label designs. And this is the first barrel from the very first Qingdao Beer Festival. So this is interesting, this is about the tradition of Qingdao locals drinking beer out of a bag, which began in the 80s, but I've heard that not many people do it now. The artwork is incredible on some of these beer can designs. There's a KFC bottle there. I never knew that KFC served beer. And then my absolute favourite design, Qinghuazi, anything with this design. I love it. Okay, now to the next part of the museum. That was Eguan, now to Biguan. Within this room is the gem of the museum. This right here is an original generator created by the German company Siemens back in 1896. It's been here ever since the brewery started operating in 1903, and it still works. And Siemens want it back. In fact, they've offered an entire production line in exchange for this generator. And that entire production line is valued at around 10 man, or over 5.6 million US dollars. So it's pretty valuable, but they're not getting it back. Oh wait, so you can see the old brew house. Saccharification and filtration tanks here. So what's also going on at the same time, which I find really interesting, is that some people are playing something called 剧本杀, which is where they get a script. I think it's like a murder mystery game going on in the museum. So they're all chasing clues to find out who done it. So you can now get Qingdao beer flavoured bread and beer facial masks. I really want to try those facial masks. Bread, I really want to try the bread. This here is Qingdao Dahua. It's the first Chinese hop cultivated by Qingdao Brewery. Qingdao Dahua. A lot of people call me Beijing Dahua. I don't know why. 谢谢啊. So every standard ticket, 60 kuai, gets 2 beers. This is the part I'm happy about. So this is raw beer. I've also got some peanuts. So, hajiu. Oh, so crisp. The thing I like about Qingdao beer, it's very, very refreshing. Quite light as well. I'm not a hard drinker, so I like the light stuff. So we've just walked out of the old brewery. Now we're walking through the middle of Qingdao Piyochang Diyichang. So that's the first factory, the first Qingdao beer factory here in Qingdao. There are 5 in total, and that means it's quite prestigious. And lots of people here in Qingdao, when they buy Qingdao beer, they want it to be from this factory because the chanliao, or the production of beer, is actually less from this factory, so it's more valuable. And all of the beer exported abroad actually comes from Diyichang. I wonder what it's like for the workers looking up and just seeing loads of tourists looking down at them. And all these pictures of the countries that Qingdao is exported to, over 100 countries. What have we got there? France, Canada, Australia, India, Germany, Singapore, US, Belgium, Switzerland, Netherlands. Where's Britain? So this behind me is the Drunken house, where you can go in and feel what it's like to be drunk. It's a bit bloody weird. And then, like most museums in the entire world, we exit through the gift shop, and there are a lot of beer-related gifts to buy. There's also beer ice cream somewhere, so I'm gonna go and get me one of those. So I bought a Chunsheng ice cream draft beer, Chunsheng Pijiu. So let's try that. It's 10 kuai, by the way, which is really cheap. Does it taste like draft beer? I'm not sure. Mildly alcoholic as well. I wouldn't be able to guess that it's draft beer, but I like it. Still got one more glass of draft beer to drink. Come on, let's go drink it. Oh, wait. Right, so at the end of the museum tour, there's a bar. Now, this year is the 120th anniversary of Qingdao beer. What better way to finish the day off by eating beer ice cream and drinking beer? Yeah. 喝酒